The Curse of the Moon, the tragic love story of Magere. Long time ago, when the skies were darker and the rivers clearer, there lived a warrior whose name was whispered with both awe and fear, Lwanda Magere. He was no ordinary man. Born under a full moon, the gods had blessed him with a gift that turned his skin into stone. No spear, no arrow, no weapon could harm him. His enemies learned to flee at the mere sight of his shadow. Magere was the pride of his people, the Luo, who depended on him to defend their lands from rival tribes. But with great power came isolation. Women admired him from a distance, but they feared his strength. His friends celebrated his victories but whispered in hushed tones about his invincibility. Yet Magere was kind and longed for love. In his heart, he wanted more than the glory of war. He wanted someone who could see beyond his strength and into his soul. One day, the rival Nandi tribe, weary of losing battles to Magere, came up with a plan. They sent a messenger to propose peace. As a symbol of their sincerity, they offered him a bride, a Nandi woman of rare beauty named Nakal. Magere's elders warned him, "This is a trick. Accepting their offer will bring ruin." But when Magere saw Nakal, his heart betrayed him. Her eyes were like the morning dew, her voice like the whisper of the wind through the reeds. He ignored the warnings and agreed to marry her. Nakal became Magere's wife, and for a time they were happy. She marveled at his strength, and he found solace in her gentle laughter. But Nakal was not what she seemed. The Nandi elders had sent her with a secret mission to uncover the source of Magere's power. One night, under a silver moon, Nakal feigned worry. "My husband," she said, her voice trembling, "you fight so many battles. What if one day you are wounded? How can I save you if I do not know your weakness?" Magere, blinded by love, smiled and said, "I have no weakness, Nakal. My skin is stone, and no blade can pierce it. But—" He hesitated, then continued, "If ever I am wounded, it will not be on my skin. My life is tied to my shadow. Harm my shadow, and you harm me." Nakal held him close, but her heart raced with betrayal. The next morning, Nakal slipped away and told her people the secret. The Nandi warriors prepared for their final battle. They did not aim their spears at Magere, but at the ground where his shadow stretched under the midday sun. When the battle began, Magere fought fiercely, cutting down his enemies, as he always had. But suddenly he felt a searing pain, unlike anything he had ever known. He looked down and saw a spear driven into his shadow. His strength left him. His knees buckled, and for the first time, the invincible warrior bled. His people watched in horror as Magere fell to the earth. Before he drew his last breath, he turned to stone, his body becoming a boulder that still rests near the shores of Lake Victoria. The Luo mourned their fallen hero, and his story became a lesson passed down through generations. Even the strongest can be undone by trust misplaced. To this day, the stone of Lwanda Magere stands as a reminder of love, betrayal, and the cost of invincibility. When the moon is full, some say you can hear his voice carried on the wind, whispering, "Protect your heart, for it is more fragile than your flesh."